This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
One of the most egregious happenings, occurrences, revelations, we'll go with revelations, that has come out of the Trump world. I was going to say the January 6th committee, but really, this has been going on for a long time. It is the lengths to which people will go to debase themselves on behalf of Donald Trump, up to and including pleading the Fifth Amendment for things that you wouldn't think are a crime. And maybe I should refresh everyone's memory. Pleading the Fifth Amendment isn't a mechanism by which you don't want to talk, so you plead the Fifth. You only get to plead the Fifth Amendment, which is the right against self-incrimination. You only get to plead the Fifth Amendment if indeed you have reasonable belief that you will incriminate yourself, talking about your actions, that you committed a crime, and because of that crime, mum's the word, I'm not going to say anything, because if I talk, there is likelihood that I will be outing myself and my criminal behavior. That is what the Fifth Amendment is. And not only, I'll play this clip first, this John Eastman clip, the architect of the fake elector scheme. Not only did he plead the Fifth over 100 times during congressional testimony, which means 100 or more questions were asked that he reasonably believed that he had reasonable belief that he would be incriminating himself if he answered truthfully, because he's under oath. Watch this, and then we're going to talk about General Michael Flynn, the disgraced former national security advisor to Donald Trump. Watch John Eastman here.
In fact, just a few days later, Dr. Eastman emailed Rudy Giuliani and requested that he be included on a list of potential recipients of a presidential pardon. Dr. Eastman's email stated, quote, "I've decided that I should be on the pardon list, if that is still in the works." Dr. Eastman did not receive his presidential pardon. So let's see what Dr. Eastman did as a result when he was deposed by this committee.
I assert my Fifth Amendment right against being compelled to be a witness against myself.
Did the Trump legal team ask you to prepare a memorandum regarding the vice president's role in the counting of electoral votes at the joint session of Congress on January 6, 2021?
Yeah.
Dr. Eastman, did you advise the President of the United States that the Vice President could reject electors from 7 states and declare that the President had been reelected?
Yeah.
Dr. Eastman, the first sentence of the memo starts off by saying 7 states have transmitted dual slates of electors to the President of the Senate. Is that statement in this memo true?
Yeah.
Did President Trump authorize you to discuss publicly your January 4th, 2021 conversation with him?
Fifth.
So is it your position that you can discuss in the media direct conversations you had with the President of the United States, but you will not discuss those same conversations with this committee?
Fifth.
Dr. Eastman pled the Fifth 100 times.
So not only is he seeking a pardon, which again, you only seek pardons from crimes. You can't be pardoned from being a bad guy or having a bad reputation or the court of public opinion. You seek a presidential pardon for your crimes. Literal, actual crimes. And that is what happened with Mike Flynn. And the reason I bring up John Eastman first is because those are clear crimes, interfering with Congress and its certification of the election. There are several, but maybe even seditious conspiracy. I mean, there are serious criminal ramifications of John Eastman's actions, alleged actions. But the questions that were asked of Michael Flynn really spark in me questions about exactly what his role was in the insurrection. Because Liz Cheney is asking him directly. It's not staff, it's not lawyers, it's just Liz Cheney asking him, do you believe it was justified for violence at the Capitol? And he's pleading the fifth to that question. What's your opinion about the violence at the Capitol? And he's pleading the fifth after a short break. They ask him first, and then they're like, well, I need to confer with my client. We're going to take a break. And then they come back like a minute and a half later. Watch this.
Let's briefly view a clip of General Mike Flynn taking the Fifth Amendment. General Flynn, do you believe the violence on January 6th was justified?
Do we have a minute?
Yes.
All right, we're back. Congressman Cheney, could you repeat the question, please?
Yes. General Flynn, do you believe the violence on January 6th was justified?
Can I get a clarification? Is that a moral question, or are you asking a legal question?
I'm asking both.
I said the fifth.
Do you believe the violence on January 6th was justified morally?
Take the fifth.
You believe the violence on January 6th was justified legally?
Fifth.
General Flynn, do you believe in the peaceful transition of power in the United States of America?
The fifth.
So this vile, reprehensible, sinister former Lieutenant General in the United States Army believes there is criminal culpability if he answers truthfully about whether he believes violence was justified morally and legally on January 6th. He believes he may have committed a crime surrounding those questions. And then this former Lieutenant General in the United States Army, who rose his right hand and swore to protect and defend the Constitution of these United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, won't even answer the question as to whether he believes in the peaceful transfer of power that has happened from president to president to president, from George Washington to John Adams, FDR, Obama, even Democrat to Republican and Republican to Democrat for hundreds of years until Donald Trump. Even Al Gore had the presidency stolen from him and stepped back for the good of the country. He didn't want the fabric of our nation destroyed. Even then. And Michael Flynn, again, swore an oath, swore a solemn vow to the United States Constitution. He can't even answer the question about the transfer of power without feeling like he's going to incriminate himself. Remember, this is the same man who said we need a Myanmar-style coup in the United States. This is the man who has cozied right up to QAnon. I mean, is there a more apt word than disgraceful? You don't have to be surprised by what he said, but it's certainly generally shocking that a former lieutenant general would debase himself, would out himself as such a pernicious character in American history. But you know what? Cover your ass, I guess. I guess that's the motto of the Trump camp. No loyalty to country, it's loyalty to self. But first, before loyalty to self, it's loyalty to Donald Trump. Right? Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I'd love to hear from you. You can also mix it up in the comments. Do the old-fashioned YouTube comment thing. That's sometimes amazing. And that's sarcastic because YouTube comment sections are often yikes. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore on Instagram, at Dollemore on Twitter, at Dollemore on TikTok. And if I do something for you, whether that's a smile or information or passion to move forward and try to better our country, please consider supporting my work, helping produce what I do here. You can click the join button below this video, become a channel member for $1.99 a month, pennies a day, or click on over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and help support my work there. Anyway, I will see you next time. I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. Be genuine. Take care of one another.